Hi, Roy here, coming at you with a catch-up on the Finnegans Wake, that famous other book. Finnegans Wake Readalong, which has been going for about a week now, which means those of us doing the sort of provisional schedule have read a chapter, which has been great. So this is something... originally it was just going to be me and Alan, and then it sort of spread outwards, and there's now... I'm calling us Finnegans 15. You know, we had the Ulysses 6. I'm calling us the Finnegans 15. I haven't counted people exactly, but there might be 12, there might be 17, there might be 23. But between BookTube and the Discord server I've set up for it, there's that sort of number, close enough for modernism. So that's good, because it means there's discussion going on Discord, which is really nice, and lots of people bring in different perspectives and sharing ideas and stuff like that. So yeah, cool beans. What I've noticed is between us we've got different approaches to reading the thing. Book, in case you'd forgotten what a book looks like. There's a lot of enthusiasm for sort of reading through a section, just reading it, not bothering too much about understanding stuff or context or anything, just reading it for the musicality of it, the rhythm, and letting it be as it is. And for some of us, that's all we're going to do, and that's enough sort of payback. There seems to be people are talking about enjoying it, which is the whole idea, and rhythm, poetry, wordplay are things that come up from just about everybody. There's also a lot of enthusiasm for some sort of audiobook version, and particularly if you can get hold of it, the one published by Naxos, where Barry McGovern is the main reader, and that's a complete unabridged one. I think it's nearly 30 hours long.
Gents and laity-men, full-stoppers and semi-colonials, hybrids and lubbards.
So one strategy is to start by listening, then get into the reading, and then possibly do, reread or perhaps read something else. Also, reading aloud. That works. If there's going to be a sort of wingman for the book, the Joseph Campbell Skeleton Key seems popular, and some of us have got others. So, different sort of approaches. Enjoyment is surfacing, but like I say, a sort of absorb it first. Somebody said it's like sinking into a bath of language. Absorb it first, and then look further in if you want to. There's also just a reminder that this is not a consecutive or total read. It's a sample of a bunch of chapters starting at page 104. Some people did want to read from the beginning as well, at least a few pages at the beginning, in the hope it would then all make sense. So good luck with that. But no, it sort of is a way of getting a little bit more orientation, especially as the opening is kind of a panoramic vista of the whole thing. It's still, none of us are saying, well, why do they say it's difficult? In fact, it's very clear, know exactly what's going on. I get all the allusions and references. It's pretty much like a James Patterson book with a couple of extra adjectives. Nobody's saying that. It is the fact that it's not that there's no plot, it's that there's lots and lots of things layered on to sort of simultaneous happenings. It's not that the words are nonsense, it's the words are sort of so overcharged with meaning. It's like a sort of kaleidoscope of words. And it's not that there's no characters, but that a character such as ALP and Olivia Pluribel is a multiplicity. You know, she's like Eve and Mrs. Noah and lots of specific women as well, and she's the housewife of the publican who's dreaming the book, and you know, so on and so on. As also characters tend to sort of merge and sort of split and things like that. So it's not the normal reading experience, to put it that way, in terms of, you know, having that sort of solid grasp of what's going on. It's like beyond slippery, but once you know how it's going to be, you can sort of get into it. I think, you know, maybe our brains are going to be rewired by the experience. We will only be able to read books like this in future. As for what has been happening, the chapter we've read is the first chapter to focus on the female protagonist of the family, and we get it opens with a kind of something that sounds like the Lord's Prayer, but brings in lots of other things as well. In the name of Anna, the all-merciful, the ever-living, the bringer of plurabilities, hallowed be her eve, her sing-time sung, her will be run, unhemmed as it is uneven. So I love that. I love the word plurabilities, you know, so I'll peg that as something I've drawn from it. Then you get this huge list that goes on for 3 pages of titles of a sort of literary work, because on one level what's happened is there's this letter. The woman has written a letter defending her husband from slander, and the discarded letter has been pecked out of a rubbish dump by a hen. So, and then this letter is now being analysed in a sort of super academic way, and it has all these different identities as different kind of documents, some of which do sound like sort of academic articles, but they also sound like music hall songs, they sound like jokes, they sound like quite alarming things. Supports a ventriloquist marries a corpse. Siegfeld Follies. The Suspended Sentence. You know, some of them could just be novels. Anyway, never mind my bestial thoughts. What do the experts say? I've got the portable Finnegans Wake here, full of guides, so looking at what they have to say. Tindall. Well, he reminds me that there's a word called chaosmos in this, which I really likes. The trouble is that everything in this chaosmos is changing and shifting all the time. Yet this maze of changeably meaning script signs is not a miseffectual riot of blots and blurs. It only looks as like it, damn it. Burgess. So here's his description of the long list of titles. The above are some of the titles that have been given to ALP's letter, that great manifesto, or mummafesta, memorialising the Most Highest. A professorial account of it now follows. Campbell. Yeah, he highlights a section I really liked. So this is the skeleton key kind of streamlined simplification of one of the sections. Talking about the condition of the manuscript. Any photographer will tell you that if a negative of a horse melts while drying, what you get is a distorted mass of horse-happy values and melt while horse. Something of this kind must have occurred to our missive. Heated residence in the heart of the orange-flavoured mud mound had, so to speak, partly obliterated the negative, causing features close at hand to become enormously enlarged, while the farther back we manage to wiggle, the more we need the loan of a lens to see as much as the hen saw. Burgess again. The letter, there is a strong element of parody of pedantry in this chapter, so it wasn't just me that thought that, He's accorded the reverence given to the Book of Kells, that ancient Irish psalter magnificently illuminated that was buried to protect it from invading Danes. But beneath the dream satire, so it's satirising a kind of academic description of this beautiful page of the Book of Kells in its kind of excess, I suppose. And there's a kind of absurdity to the way this supposed scrap of a letter is being looked at with the same sort of academic type attention. This stained old hen-grubbed scrawl is marvelled at. Marginal portraits are described in it. Niceties of punctuation are gravely discussed. Gordon, who notices the word pudendoscope. Gotta love that. There's also an interest developed in the group about Lucia, James and Nora Joyce's daughter, and her life and influence on her father's writing. Ian recommended this graphic novel, Mary M. Talbot, Brian Talbot, called Daughter of Her Father's Eyes. My copy has the additional title, Peel to Remove. Which looks great. It's a kind of an intertwined autobiography of Mary Talbot and Lucia Joyce, and it's beautiful artwork. I love these end papers too, which I think are images from Mary Talbot's father, who was a Joycean scholar, although based on this I'm not sure I'm going to get his book. So yeah, this looks good. I also read that a book called The House by the Churchyard by Sheridan Le Fanu is a source for Finnegans Wake. So it's a mystery novel, historical mystery. I like Le Fanu. It's the kind of book I would actually read in real life. So I've downloaded a copy of that from Gutenberg and might give that a read. If I do, that could mean if Joyce lobs a Le Fanu ball up the pitch, maybe I'll be able to catch it. We'll see. And another word I've picked out, bewilderblissed. That's the experience of reading this. It's bewildering but kind of blissful as well. So it's early days yet, plenty of time to jump on board if you want to. We're taking it at a very relaxed pace. It's a friendly group. No kind of scholarly one-upmanship or angst, although that kind of thing is satirised in the book. Well, probably everything is satirised in the book. So, yeah. Delighted that a group has formed around it and that people are getting something out of it. So, that's good. And on to the next chapter, which is sort of structured like a radio quiz.